Hey everybody, welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQCW and of course NoDQ.com, your source for the latest in WWE and TNA. Also your source for WWE Summerslam coverage, which is now 1 week away, almost 7 days. Got a lot of questions here regarding SummerSlam as well as some other topics, so let's get right down to it. What do you think of the SummerSlam card up until now, and in what order would you book the matches? Also, what part do you see Wade Barrett playing in the pay-per-view? I have to say I am a little bit underwhelmed with the SummerSlam card this year. I think it's good, but I'm not so sure it's good enough for the second or third biggest pay-per-view of the year. But with that being said, it does have a lot of potential to be one of the better SummerSlams in recent years. You have Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler, which should be a great match. And I've mentioned this before in NoDQ&A video. I think it's a critical match for Dolph Ziggler. I think if he goes out there and steals the show with Chris Jericho, that's going to do him a lot of favors with WWE management. They're going to be impressed with him, and it'll be good for his future. So I think that match, it needs to be given a good amount of time. So with that being said, I would not put this match as the opener. I think that the opening match needs to be something that's really good, but the opening match doesn't usually have a lot of emphasis put on it. So I would do something like Rey Mysterio versus The Miz or a multi-man match, something like that to open the show. Ziggler versus Jericho should be somewhere in the mid-card. Kane versus Daniel Bryan could be like the second or third match. Sheamus versus Del Rio, I could see that opening the card just because the world title match has been opening pay-per-views as of late. But if it was me, I would put that a little bit later. That would be a good place to actually have Wade Barrett get involved. I don't know if he's coming back as a babyface or a heel. If they plan on bringing him back as a heel, have Sheamus win and then have Wade Barrett attack him after the match to set up a new feud. That's something you could do with Wade Barrett. I would put Brock Lesnar versus Triple H second to last, just because I think if Brock Lesnar's going over, he's going to beat the hell out of Triple H, and you don't want to end the pay-per-view on a sour note like that. Although, who knows what's going to happen with the WWE title match. But either way, I would put the WWE title match on last, just because that's the match with John Cena, and they've been putting him in the main event anyways, and you want to put CM Punk in the main event. That should be the match to close the show, in my opinion. Let's see what we got here. From Damn You Steve. He wants to know what are my thoughts on the Kevin Nash interview, where basically he said that Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero were not fit to be world champions, and that was the, quote, death of the business. And a lot of people ask me this question. I know I might get some heat for this, but I agree with Kevin Nash to some extent. I think that it is important for your world champion to be a larger-than-life figure. And I understand where he's coming from, and this is also Vince McMahon's viewpoint, that a world champion should be a guy who stands out from the pack. I mean, do you really want your number one guy representing the company looking like your average Joe? I mean, he walks in the airport and nobody recognizes him. That's a great point by Kevin Nash. I agree with him on that. But on the other hand, it doesn't really matter what your size is. I mean, you could be a 7-foot guy and not make any kind of emotional connection with the audience. I mean, Great Khali is a huge attraction. He's this freak of nature, but he just doesn't connect all that much with the people. So size isn't the end-all, be-all. I think you need a combination of everything. You need to be able to perform in the ring to a degree that you're believable and people are convinced that you're the real deal and you're a tough guy. That's how good Chris Benoit was. You could watch a Chris Benoit match and you could think that this guy is the best in the world and nobody can beat him. That's how good Chris Benoit was. And you look at the biggest stars in the history of wrestling, like Hulk Hogan and The Rock. They're guys that could do everything. They came off like tough guys, but they were also very entertaining and they were charismatic and they were big guys. They were larger than life. So the best case situation is to have all the attributes, but you could be a big guy and succeed. You could also be a small guy and succeed. So it just depends on the person. This is from Reaper Taking Over. Hey Aaron, with Raw Super Show, not Super Show anymore by the way, Going 3 hours, do you think they'll split up Kofi and Truth and finally give them the push they deserve, or will they keep the straps to make it seem like they care about tag teams? Please answer in video. I think the reason that Kofi and Truth are a tag team in the first place is because WWE is not really sure what to do with them, so just throw them together, put them in a tag team, they got something to do now. I'm fine with it because, as you mentioned, it does elevate the tag team division a little bit and makes the tag team division a little bit more interesting. So I'm fine with that. And, I mean, it's good for Kofi and Truth because if they weren't in the tag team, they would probably be lost in the shuffle. I mean, they would be lucky if they'd even be appearing on Raw with the way things are going. So the fact that they're in a tag team is good for them. It gives them something to do. Will they eventually split up and get singles pushes again? I don't know about that. I mean, they gave both of those guys a push, and they've moved on to other people. So I don't know. I think that they're best sticking in a tag team for the time being. All right, this is from Fans Matter. Hey Aaron, would WCW still be around if Turner and AOL didn't merge? Well, according to Eric Bischoff, this was the main reason why WCW went out of business. Now, obviously, the merger played a role in the eventual demise of WCW because one of the executives, Jamie Kellner, he was the one that made the decision to cancel Monday Nitro and cancel WCW programming. That was the final nail in the coffin for WCW, no doubt about it. That's what ultimately led to the sale of WCW to Vince McMahon. Now, obviously, like I said, there were other issues that led up to the demise of WCW. The fact is, even if television wasn't canceled, there was only going to be so many years where they would keep bleeding money. I mean, WCW lost $60 to $80 million in the year 2000. That was only going to continue for so long before somebody was going to decide to pull the plug on it. So that's the bottom line, and perhaps they could have lasted a few more years with the Turner money, and maybe things would have started to turn around. Who knows? But at the rate things were going, they were going to go out of business at some point. There's just so much money you can lose before somebody says, okay, enough is enough. In my opinion, the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam is going to have The Rock interrupt. What do you think is going to happen? I do not think The Rock is going to interrupt that match. I think that, as I mentioned before, I don't think we're going to be seeing The Rock again till the end of the year or even early January. As far as what I think is going to happen in the WWE title match, it's interesting because I don't know if there's a finish that is going to please a majority of the audience. If CM Punk wins, I mean, I've read so many things online about the outcome of this match. If CM Punk wins, it's too predictable. If John Cena wins, it's the same old you-know-what. It's the same guy being pushed, shoved down our throats, whatever. And if Big Show wins, which would be a surprise, but if Big Show won, people would say he's too boring, he sucks, he doesn't deserve to be WWE Champion. So it's very interesting. I'm not sure what would make people happy in terms of the finish of this match. My guess, I mean, the most likely thing is that CM Punk retains, but I could also see John Cena winning it again and then losing it to Punk before the Royal Rumble, something like that. And who knows? I mean, perhaps WWE will feel that that having Big Show win would be a nice surprise and it would throw people off. So, would not surprise me to see Big Show win. I mean, they could go any way with this match, which is good. It's good to not know exactly what's going to happen, and that's always a positive. This is from One Rooster Cogborn. John Wayne fan, I suppose? Hey Aaron, bigger fan of your t-shirts. Thanks for that. I'm not wearing one today. And I was wondering whether the WWE Network will be a channel or a subscription service like WWE Classics On Demand. Well, if the network even goes through, I mean, the plan was for it to be a full-fledged network with all WWE shows throughout the day and a variety of programming, different entertainment shows starring WWE talent. The closest they have to a network right now is the YouTube channel. Then they're doing the shows and all that. And the fact is, WWE has gotten cold feet with the network. I mean, it's a huge risk. If they go through with this network and it flops, they are going to lose a ton of money. And I think people in WWE are realizing that they're biting off more than they can chew with this network, and that it's more than likely going to fail. And they're kind of chickening out on it. Which, if it was me, I would just cut my losses and not do it. But you know, Vince wants to try different things, and he wants to be able to go beyond just WWE in the ring. He wants to have a full-fledged network. He has all these big visions, you know, like the XFL and the WBF. But at some point, he's got to just stick to what works for him. If, or rather when, Mick Foley gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, do you think Mr. Sacco will go in with him? I'd like to see Mr. Sacco actually induct Mick Foley into the Hall of Fame. That would be entertaining. I could see something like that happening. If they have the technology, it would be cool if they could somehow do like a split screen with Foley being inducted by the three faces of Foley, and you see all four of them standing on stage. Not sure how they could pull that off with the split screens, but if they have the technology available, that would be something really entertaining too. That's what I would like to see. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest SummerSlam coverage, and keep spreading the word about the videos. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you this coming week for more NoDQ&A video.